Alright, so skipped the startup for today to spare you. We're in Nabir, West New Guinea, and we are traveling to Bugalaga airstrip, Central New Guinea. It's one of the most difficult airstrips in the world to land at, one of the most remote places in the world to get into in the jungle of New Guinea. We're at Nabir here. Nabir is an airstrip on the ocean. Boats come in, they offload supplies. We're taking some rations, some potable water, and a little bit of fuel and some Bibles to a remote village at the Bugalaga airstrip. It's got like an 11-degree grade going up, so you actually have to land going up. It's super difficult runway to get into. We're in the King Air 350i, good old Beechcraft. We've got the engine started. Let's get a flight plan going here. This thing's got so much power. I've got it in low idle, and I still don't have to give it power to taxi, even loaded down. With all this cargo, it just pulls.
Approaching runway 16.
Alright, we need all these lights on. We don't need the ice, beacon, and strobe. We need towers 118.7. Nabir Tower, November 91 Alpha Romeo.
November 91 Alpha Romeo, Nabir Tower, go ahead.
November 91 Alpha Romeo, holding short of runway 34, ready to depart. We're departing to the east.
One Alpha Romeo, runway 16, wind 040 at 4, cleared for takeoff.
He said 16. I don't think there's a runway 16. Oh, there is. He wants me to take off runway 16. November 91 Alpha Romeo requesting runway 34. Now we want to take off towards the ocean. Give us a little
One
bit
Alpha Romeo, runway 34 not available. Runway 16 in use.
Okay, take off runway 16, November 91 Alpha Romeo. That's rough. That is rough because that way points towards mountains. That way points towards an ocean. I'd rather take off towards the ocean. And the weather's fine. I mean, look at that windsock is barely blowing. It would have been fine, but it's fine. They're saying no. Runway 34 is not used. We're using runway 16. So that's okay. We'll take off runway 16. We've got a very aggressive climb set up with a vertical of 2,000 feet per minute, so we should be fine either way. And get our flaps down. Good. Much lift on this takeoff as possible so I can get up and over those mountains. So we're actually going to hold the brakes and full throttle. Yeah, pointing us right at a mountain. Yeah, let's set our heading bug straight that way. All right, here we go. Brakes couldn't hold her anymore. And we're up. Positive rate of climb. Gear up. We're going to go ahead and set an aggressive climb. We're going to bring the prop back just a little bit. There we go. Alright, let's go ahead and get on our nav track here. Alright, we easily climbed above the mountains. This thing's got so much power. You're not going to do that in the Cessna 172. That's for sure. Beacon and strobe need to stay on. Tail flood can go off. Taxi and landing can go off. There we go. And we're headed up to 10,000. Because here in West Papua New Guinea, mountains don't really get too high. Once we get into central, some of these mountain peaks come up to 10,000. You don't say much, do you? I've made a lot of videos with you. You haven't said a word since. Alright, we've captured the GPS track. We can climb even faster. Yeah, this thing's got the power. 3,500 feet per minute. Now, we are losing airspeed, but not losing it that quickly. Now, we can do this for a little bit and really climb up to 10,000. Now, the yaw damper. Don't forget the yaw damper. There we go. Already going on 6,000 feet. I do love a good twin turboprop. Power is beautiful. In fact, the runway we're headed into BX53 is 6,000 feet. Alright, we can dial back on this a little bit. Coming up on 10,000 feet. We can trim that down a little bit, save on some fuel. There we go. We are 54.3 miles away. We're going to switch back over to heading and prepare for arrival. Look at all these mountains we're flying into right here. Crazy. Right. And we're flying into 243. Go. Runway is in sight. Landing gears down, flaps are down. This is going to be tough. This bird might be too fast to land at this runway. I just don't think it's got enough length to it. You really need something like Cessna Grand Caravan or Kodiak 100. We're going down pretty low because you've got to land upwards. I just don't know if this equipment's going to be able to do it, but we're going to try. We're going to almost stall out just to land it, but we're going to have to reverse thrust immediately. And there's the stall. That's alright. We've got climb power. Throttle down. And already into reverse. Kind of a rough landing, but I wanted to plan it and not bounce because of that little dip right there. And we made it. Now, do we have enough power to climb up here and get out of the way? We do. This thing's got so much power. Power we aren't short on. But here we are. Let's go up here and get turned around. Remote village, central New Guinea.